platform Mixler. We're there, mixler.com/Oluyole 98.5 FM. In due course, we'll open the phone lines for you to join the discussion. We'll go straight to the papers. This is the program where we give you news that you can use. Okay, newspaper review, top-notch analysis, and of course your own contribution. Powerfully welcome. Once again, you are welcome. We'll go straight to the paper. I have a copy of the Punch newspaper.
Yes, and I have a copy of the Nigerian Tribune.
All right. COVID-19 hazard allowance. 33 states fail to pay as 854 doctors, nurses test positive.
Wow.
That's not funny, sir. Ogun NARD disagree over payment. Abia holds doctors 16. I hope I'm saying well.
16 months salaries.
I thought I was not saying well. Abia holds doctors 16 months salaries.
What's going on?
Page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Wow.
All right, banner headline of the Nigerian Tribune this morning: Galaxy backbone reps uncover clauses ceding Nigeria's sovereignty to China and probe implementation of $849 million rail project, and that China may not sign $5.3 billion Ibadan Kano rail loan if probe continues. Amici won. Ceding Nigeria's sovereignty to China. And some people sat down and assented that kind of agreement.
This Chinese agreement. And some people have been warning about it.
In romance with China.
I mean, it's been happening in some African nations, except we want to say we've not, that they've been taking over their ports because of this clause. So it was in our own clause too.
And well, we'll get to talk about this.
All right. Power crisis deepens. NBET fails to pay Gencos 181.39 billion naira. That's on page 19 of the Punch newspaper.
Malabu Oil, Nigeria expecting $200 million from the Netherlands, Switzerland, says AGF. That's on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune.
It's also here, Netherlands, Switzerland, to repatriate $200 million Malabu deal cash, says AGF.
The money keeps coming in.
Where is it going?
COVID-19 hazard allowance is not paid to doctors. Doctors are leaving Nigeria because of Nigeria.
Mentioning these things. What are we doing with them?
And the federal government keeps on saying there is no money. It's always the same old language. Nigerians tighten your belts. Nigerians brace up for harder times. And you keep wondering, where does the money go? The money keeps coming in repatriated loot, Abacha loot, NDDC pool, billions of dollars going into private pockets, and yet.
Well, we'll ask Malami. His picture and name is attached to this one. That's always been attached anyway. Netherlands, Switzerland to repatriate $200 million Malabu deal cash. Okay. We'll see what we can do with that.
Yeah. And rep summon CBN Pencom over 300 billion misappropriated fund. It goes on and on. Query Labour Minister over 7.8 billion bailout P funds.
Okay. All right. Congratulations to our own Akiwumi Adesina. AFDB independent panel clears Adesina of wrongdoing.
Claim bill of health.
I'm telling you, I'm so happy for him. Page 23 of the Punch newspaper. AFDB independent panel clears Adesina of wrongdoing.
It also states page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. AFDB excited as Adesina gets not guilty verdict. That's a beaming smiles and picture of Akiwumi Adesina there.
The righteous is as bold as a lion. I mean, if you know you've not done anything wrong, you'll be able to beat your chest and, not like those that are saying publish a name, publish the names. Off your mic.
The great legal luminary was I was with him sometimes ago, and he once said to me, I'm talking about Barrister Tola.
Okay.
He said, integrity sometimes could make you suffer, that you could suffer from it, but in the long run you would be vindicated, no
Definitely.
matter how long it takes.
That's it. That's just it. Reps summoned Emefiele, Pencom boss, others over 300 billion naira funds. Okay.
We have this one. Ex-pension boss Mena released from Kuje prison, page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Oh, did I know any, yes, sir? All right.
You might still have questions to answer.
Okay. Money has...
Maybe he hasn't been exonerated, has he?
Okay. All right. FIRO board demands salary refund from demoted DG. Okay, that story is on page 4 of the Punch newspaper.
And court issues warrant of arrest against ex-National Assembly clerk Oluyole. That's on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Now, there was this video that trended on the social media yesterday, Facebook, Twitter precisely, about an African-American doctor who was saying she discovered, solution to COVID-19 in the US, precisely hydroxychloroquine. Facebook, Twitter, delete videos of US doctor claiming COVID-19 cure. Page 9 of the Punch newspaper.
It also says here, unending debate over hydroxychloroquine as medical doctors debunk US-based doctors' claim. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube pulled down video, no specific cure yet. That's coming from the NCDC, page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune.
As much as I really may not want to go with social media posts and all that, some get doctored, a lot of things can happen. What caught my attention in that video was the fact that that woman was the only black person in that video. And she was standing right behind the microphone with almost 10, if not more than 10 white doctors standing behind her. And that is a sign of we are with you. That's just what definitely. It means. When you see people standing behind people before they make a statement, it means on that thing she's saying, all of us cannot just talk together. We are with her. Nobody disturbed her while she was talking, which means they were with her. In fact, some were nodding and smiling. All of them whites. And I'm wondering, okay. At least these people too belong to different caucuses, different groups, and they are here. And that press conference took place in Washington, D.C. That's the seat of power.
This hydroxychloroquine has always been in the news on and off in the journey to the search for a solution or a medication for COVID-19. And one begins to think that there might be something to hydroxychloroquine after all.
I think I'm with you. Well, I think Lagos State Health Commissioner, that mentioned that some patients, are treated that way, and I think the NAFDAC boss commented that it's on clinical trials here in Nigeria. People have been entering isolation center and coming out.
It keeps getting mentioned.
So if it's working, why not? I mean, if it's working. But then the danger here is this, and I think we need to emphasize this: when people come out and begin to mention a particular drug on any media platform, there's a huge danger that people will go ahead and begin to self-medicate. And that is why I support whoever brought down that video. It's dangerous. You don't go out prescribing drugs directly and saying it's doing this
and start consuming.
People will OD now, overdose. It's just normal. Everybody wants to protect themselves. So anybody who's feeling wants, they just go and buy, and just begin to. So that's the danger in releasing such information.
When this whole thing about COVID-19 first started, and there was information that the virus doesn't like heat. People started drinking hot water, boiling water.
Until people in Borno started catching it inside the desert. Sokoto. So it was never about heat. So if the fact that hydroxychloroquine worked for some people does not necessarily mean. I think we need to be clear about that. As she claims she has treated 350 patients. Hello. Nearly 500,000 people have died.
I know what I've seen in this in the pattern in which COVID-19 runs. I've noticed that what works for some people will not necessarily work for others. So it is up to the world now to find something that would work generally for humanity.
That's it.
And I've noticed that a lot. It's some people talk about black seed oil, others will talk about
immune boosters,
immune boosters, and these things work in some people. In some people, it doesn't work. Maybe depending on the level of immunity of the individual.
Probably.
But I think the task ahead now is to just find something that
will work for everybody, everywhere,
everywhere.
And that's the key thing. We please don't go, because I know a lot of people that share that video. It's already trending. Like 3 people have sent it to me on WhatsApp. We understand, but please don't go. Begin prescribing drugs for yourself. It's wrong. Before you know it, people start ending up in hospital due to drug overdose. Please don't. Yes, that video, fine. Leave it with them. For just you feel a symptom, get tested. If you're tested positive, just go to the isolation center. You'll be fine. It's not a death sentence, please. Presidency should be based on competence, not turn by turn. Buhari's nephew. But that is here. Page 13. So who is competent now?
Okay. So zoning or that shouldn't.
The table will always turn when it gets you, and you know that our second time is going on. And after all, we are doing well. We are competent, so it should be based on competence, not turn by turn. Details of that on page 13 of the Punch newspaper. Our member has found his voice. Okay.
Defection, Dogara betrayed my trust, says Bauchi governor.
Yeah.
Page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. In politics, you expect anything.
I don't mind him, but
that won't come as a surprise to him.
He was not well treated. If he got what he wanted, he would not decamp. Let's face it. It's politics. It's all about interest. His interest was not being. That's just it. And he felt
he didn't manage the Godfather.
That's it. So if he was well treated, I trust he would not go. He didn't get what he wanted. It's all about interest. Honorable His Excellency the Governor of Bauchi might have done the same thing if he was in the same shoes. That's politics. They are playing it for themselves. I'm not interested in. I'm sure nobody is interested in how they do their internal politics. All right. After all, somebody can go and decamp again tomorrow. Nigerian students now beggars in UK. Dabiri Eriwa tells NDDC. So it's not even somebody complaining somewhere from outside. DG Diaspora Commission is telling NDDC that Nigerian students now begging in the UK.
In the UK.
Page 7 of the Punch newspaper.
This sounds both funny and interesting. Corruption war, dare us and see. I guess the federal government.
Okay. Alaji Mohammed.
As if people have not been daring them.
They are the one daring themselves. That is the FG daring the FG.
Look at the level of impunity, the way the government seems to look away.
Alaji
corrupt persons seem to get a slap on the wrist, and you begin to wonder how much daring would take the federal government to actually begin to react to these things.
For those who have been asking where he is, hope he's talking. Now he's talking.
Dare us and see. They've been daring you, and you've not been doing anything.
Okay. Ileya is here. Idal Kabir, FG declares Thursday, Friday, public holidays. So those who have been expecting Friday and Monday, sorry. I know a lot of people were expecting Friday and Monday. No. Thursday and Friday has been declared public holiday. So I hope you have tied your meat somewhere. All I know them.
I know that
the allergies that call us.
There's something the state government is doing for civil servants. You buy your rams on credit and you pay back installmentally.
Wow. Oh, they will say, "Let do it." Yeah, sure. Okay.
So servants have that option at least.
Correct. And for those who might not know, now they know.
And that affordable cost too.
Wow.
The cost is not prohibitive at all.
Wow. Wow.
For workers, you can.
It's a very nice layout. Okay. Ozekome meets Salami panel, testifies against Magu, submits videos. This guy Ozekome is not always nice when it comes to things like this. All right. Page 11 of the Punch newspaper.
And some crime and human angle stories. 2 die as explosion rocks shops in Lagos. And we have this one: unpaid pension for retirees stormed during protest in Imo. Police rescue girl allegedly raped by 30 men in Ebonyi. Was that at once or serially? I don't.
What was our offense?
Was straight for okay. It was over a 5-day period, and she was raped. Serially raped by abductors. Wow. Over a 5-day period, 30 men.
That's
cruel.
That's just the word. Too cruel. Wow. Well, National Assembly probes Deputy Governor over COVID-19 fund. Wow. Okay.
Deputy Governor.
Over COVID-19. I think he's the one in charge. COVID-19 fund.
I hope it's not about things going awry between him and his principal now.
Well,
maybe that's why
they needed something to. Okay, this is Nigeria.
Okay,
you are talking about Minor released from prison, no? Said on health grounds. Okay, all right.
Okay,
that's on page 9 of the Punch newspaper, though.
Death of Ibadan trader in police cell. Akin Fadi Foundation hands case over to Afe Babalola Chambers. Page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Still talking crime and human angle there.
And talking about alleged car diversion, court orders arrest of ex-National Assembly clerk Omolori, just as same story you took the other time.
Oyo reviews 2020 budget down by 39.7 billion naira, achieves 30% budget performance in 6 months. From page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Talking about the increasing banditry in the north. People know bad people. Sokoto mob killed Nigerian supplying ammunition to bandits. So you leave your country and come and be selling guns and supplying them to bandits here.
I know this is some of the worries we've expressed on this platform. People beginning to take laws into their own hands. People beginning to want to do things for themselves in the event of the failure of the system to protect them. I fear what this would transform to in the days ahead.
Wow, seriously. We are calling it banditry now. I hope it doesn't become something else, like a full-blown war. I hope it remains something we can manage.
We definitely don't want to have a Somalia on our hands.
We don't, exactly. You know, that's a picture in my mind. All the East Timors, the Darfur. We can't afford it as a nation right now. That's the truth. Let's take on sport stories right here. Page 30 of the Punch newspaper. Anambra FA, Uba's re-election act of brigandage, says NFF. And we have sports industry policy will address major issues. Dari, you have any sports stories there?
Saka nominated among Arsenal's best. Real star positive for COVID-19. And delegated Bournemouth consider legal action. Sports pages of the Nigerian Tribune.
Well, we have Gomez Origi denied Osimhen chance at Wolfsburg, ex-manager. The guy is doing better now, so if you like deny him, then I'm sure he has moved on. He's a celebrated striker now, so congratulations to our man. All right, time check 6:52 a.m. Destination time 7:30 a.m. Oh, go take some major news story right now.
Well, start with this one. Page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Galaxy backbone reps uncover clauses ceding Nigeria's sovereignty to China, probe implementation of $849 million rail project. And China may not sign $5.3 billion Ibadan-Kano rail loan if probe continues, Amici warns. The House of Representatives on Tuesday raised the alarm over lethal clauses in Article 8.1 of the commercial loan agreement signed between Nigeria and Export-Import Bank of China, which allegedly waives the sovereignty of Nigeria in the $400 million loan for the Nigerian National Information and Communication Technology Infrastructure Backbone Phase 2 project signed in 2018. Now, Chairman House Committee on Treaties and Agreements, Honorable Nicholas Osai, observed this during an investigative hearing into some of the agreements signed between Nigeria and China, where the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, responded to various questions on the ongoing modernization of railway projects being implemented by the Federal Ministry of Transport. And Amechi, however, warned that the Chinese authorities may not sign the $5.3 billion Ibadan-Kano rail line if the parliament continues to investigate the agreement. According to the agreement cited by the Nigerian Tribune, signed by Federal Ministry of Finance, a borrower on behalf of Nigeria and the Export-Import Bank of China, the lender. On September 5, 2018, Article 8.1 of the agreement provides that the borrower hereby irrevocably waives any immunity on the grounds of sovereign or otherwise for itself or its property in connection with any arbitration proceeding pursuant to Article 8.5 thereof, with the enforcement of any arbitral award pursuant thereto, except for the military assets and diplomatic assets. Also, I added that I've also seen from the Ministry of Communications where Nigeria signed off some certain level of a sovereignty if part of the clauses are breached. So when the National Assembly reacts in this manner to question some level of agreements being entered into by any ministry of this country with any other nation, we have every right to question that, because anything that is going to happen will happen to our generations unborn. A Galaxy backbone reps uncover clauses ceding Nigeria's sovereignty to China.
I think that directly, the Galaxy backbone directly falls on the table of the Honorable Minister for Communications, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami. And my challenge is, if it was one politician that was sitting on that seat, I might really not think much about it. This is an academic. He was a lecturer in Saudi Arabia, and is actually a lecturer in this same field. He should know better.
But were we that, or is it that we were that boxed into a corner, we were that desperate, and despite seeing all these things, and then these issues passed through the National Assembly in the first instance?
I don't know. Now that they are just discovering, right? I really don't know. I mean, but sovereignty should not even. You don't joke with some things.
Yeah, same extent. I mean, this thing virtually reads that they will take over Nigeria in the event of a breach.
It's unfortunate. And then the Chinese loans for our rail projects, and those ones now threatening that if you continue probing
that we should not probe. And I think the Chinese, with all due respect to that country, they've always been described as a crafty people, and they are masters of cunning, and perhaps they know the antecedents of the Nigerian nation, of the Nigerian leadership. They actually happily went into disagreements with us, knowing that we would agree to their terms, and knowing fully well that possibly we would breach these terms. I mean, talking about corruption, for instance, in the realm of corruption, that we would actually go ahead and breach some of these terms. I mean, they've studied their corrupt tendencies, and I believe they are after much more than us repaying the loans back and them getting double or triple what they gave to us as loans. They are actually after. That's actually what they would be after. Us ceding our sovereignty to them under that particular controversial agreement.
Tola, I don't blame the Chinese. We went there. Seriously. I mean, I'm not trying to play the devil's advocate.
And they know us. They knew we would work.
They know that these corrupt people just hide something, one clause inside the whole thing, and there'll be problem. They know. We'll do for commercial break. Let's go on that break. When we're back, we'll take more stories.
inú mi ò.
ṣé ọ̀nà fún àyà tàbí inú rẹ̀ ń gbóná ni inú rẹ̀ ń dàrú Andrews liver salt ń gbógun ti inú kíkún àti àyà títa ní wàrà ń ṣẹ̀ṣà tí àyípadà kò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì lọ rí dókítà rẹ o.
Conversation with Dayo and Tola.
All right, so glad to know you're there. Still on the Chinese loans and all that. There's this story, September 10, 2018, credited to AfricanLiberty.org. It's a page that talks about African businesses and assets. China is taking over Zambia's national assets as far back as 2018.
Wow.
Assets that they helped them build. Now, China took them over and they are now the one collecting money from it. Do we really need to?
That's the purpose. That's what they intended all along, and I believe that's the plan in Nigeria too. That's the plan by the Chinese, and unfortunately, our leaders seem to be hell bent on helping them achieve that.
It's just like going back to the colonial days. Now, China in charge. Imagine Chinese companies running in Nigeria, collecting the money, while we also pay them, to do business in our country. We will pay them. And they move the money out of the country. Really, I think that's a target for them.
And Washington right now is unhappy with us over our romance with the Chinese. And well, I wouldn't say whether the Americans love us or not, or more than the Chinese. But then all the help we got from the Americans in the past, if things had been properly implemented, I believe we would have been the better off for it.
Tola, let me read these two paragraphs so that people will have the idea of, just to put it in context, what we're talking about here. In our story about Zambia, just listen to this paragraph. There have been credible reports of talks between the Zambian government and China on handing over the country's national electricity company, ZESCO, to the Chinese due to the inability of Zambia to meet its loan repayment promises. Now, this is expected as China is already in control of the country's broadcasting company, ZNBC. So China is already running like our NTA. Or God forbid, like BCS.
That's colonialism coming back. It's becoming the colony of China, indirect colonialism.
Now, wait for this. There are also fears that the main airport in Lusaka could be the next target. All right. I'm sure the average listener now knows what we're talking about.
And what we are in for.
So I just have to get that story out just for context.
They know us now. They know African. Of course, they know probably default.
Okay.
I know loan forgiveness on their own part anyway.
We pray this does not happen. Sometimes when I read things like this, I always tell myself, God, I want to be wrong. I pray I'm wrong.
And like I said, don't blame them. We agreed.
That's it. That's it. COVID-19 hazard allowance. 33 states failed to pay as 854 doctors, nurses test positive. Not a good time to be a health practitioner in Nigeria right now. If in the line of duty they are catching COVID. And 5,000 hazard allowance is a challenge.
And they're asking for protection. The government doesn't seem to be listening.
No fewer than 33 states have yet to begin the implementation of the new hazard allowance for resident doctors, despite their risk of contracting COVID-19. The Secretary of the National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria, Dr. Bilkis Muhammad, in a WhatsApp message sent to one of her correspondents, listed states that had started paying the allowance as Lagos, Ogun, Nasarawa, and Enugu. But there was confusion over the payment of the hazard allowance in Ogun State. Contrary to the claim of the national body, the NARD in the state-owned Olabisi Onabanjo Teaching Hospital Shegamu said its members were not being paid hazard allowance. But the Enugu State branch of the association confirmed to the point that its members had started receiving the allowance. Also on Tuesday, the number of nurses and resident doctors who had contracted COVID-19 rose to 854. The NARD secretary said while 319 resident doctors had contracted COVID-19, 14 of them had died. Wow. of the virus. The National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives said 535 of its members had contracted the deadly virus. Wow. Says most of our members still being paid 5,000 naira hazard allowance association. What we get is below FG's recommendation. That's the Enugu resident doctors. Oh, even the Enugu that said they are getting paid below the recommendation. Wow. Well, COVID-19 hazard allowance. 33 states failed to pay as 854 doctors, nurses test positive.
One big question, right? All the money that came in as in COVID-19 respite, for COVID-19 relief at the beginning of this pandemic, what happened to that money? We're talking about billions of naira here.
And I think it's important to make it clear here that this is not just about the federal government. State governments have a responsibility here in the state-owned hospitals. I think it's not fair that somebody is working and the person is dying to help other people. It's not fair. It's just not fair. It's just not fair.
And honestly, I think so far these medical practitioners have been quite humane. They've not decided to shut down the health sector. They've been quite humane. I mean, they understand the realities of the times, and despite all these, they still keep working. And I don't think it's too much to ask for the leadership, the political leadership, to protect these people at the front line of the war against COVID-19.
It's not too much. We'll use this opportunity to talk to every government across board. Please reach out to these medical practitioners. Ensure they are well taken care of. It's not too much. No, it is not. It is not. It is not. It is not too much. Government across board, do the needful, please. We'll do for commercial break.
Oyo State Internal Revenue Service, under the Executive Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has graciously approved the following incentives and relief in order to ease the burden of COVID-19 pandemic on our valued taxpayers. The deadline for filing of annual returns for individual taxpayers has been extended till 31st of August 2020. Also, the deadline for filing of annual returns of employees till 31st of August 2020. 25% reduction in the signage mobile sticker of Oyo State signage and advertisement policy. For more information, check newspaper for details or call 008-370-9494 or 003-344-8865. Always remember to stay safe. This message is from the Oyo State Internal Revenue Service under the Executive Chairman Aremo John Adeleke. Oluyole 98.5
Conversation with Dayo and Tola.
So glad to know you're there. It's Conversation with Dayo and Tola, coming to you live via Oluyole 98.5 FM. We'll take a couple more stories.
Dayo, you say I always like to quote this particular piece from Chino Achebe and the lizard that fell from the Iroko tree. If the world will praise,
don't praise me. I will praise myself.
Well, corruption war, dare us and see, says federal government. Now, despite recent revelations of corruption in several institutions, the federal government on Tuesday said it is more determined than ever before to battle the cancerous tumor. Minister of Information and Culture Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who stated this at a press briefing in Abuja, added that anyone who disagrees that the anti-corruption fight is alive and, well, is free to dare us. He says the anti-corruption war is alive and well. What the revelations of the past few weeks, especially the investigation of the nation's anti-corruption czar, have shown is that this administration is not ready to sweep any allegation of corruption under the carpet, that there is no sacred cow in the fight, and that under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, will not cover up for anyone, including the members of our party and government, when faced with corruption allegations. Our fight against corruption is blind to party affiliation, position in government, and any other consideration. Corruption war, dare us and see. says federal government. But until
It's
then,
okay. It's okay.
until those that have dared you so far, until they see, I mean, at an impressive level, at an impressive proportion, then we'll begin to appreciate what the minister is saying.
Odi Uzokalu, after getting released from prison, when they bungled the old case that took 12 years, on return to his home, the picture was posted yesterday on a particular medium. People gathered en masse to go welcome him. I am sure he belongs to Mr. Lai Mohammed's party. All right, so
Definitely.
that's just a response to daring him or daring them or not. The last time we checked, a good portion of the corruption has been coming from government agencies led by political appointees of this same government. We are not blind. We have eyes and we have ears. I think that housekeeping should start from inside.
And the disapprove involvement of House of Reps members in the sleaze.
We see all these things. So, I mean, it's obvious. We are not blind. I mean, the headlines every day. it's obvious. So, these are basic things that we don't.
You know, it's like when two boys in a neighborhood, maybe in a typical slum neighborhood, they get into a fight and one beats up the other, and the other one in the way says, "Toba beer that telling me if you dare, I dare you to follow me." No, let's follow.
It's a style. It's a strategy. All right, let's open the phone line. Just join the discussion from wherever you are. I can see comments dropping on Facebook and Twitter. Keep them coming. Phone line is open. 08055009850. 08055009850. That's the magic number to join the conversation in the studio. Orobale Adito. This is Nigeria. Abia State. Okay. All right. That's what we saw in the news. So, I mean, I'm sure that person too is surprised that Abia is owing how many months?
16 months.
16 months. Wonderful.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Well done over there.
Thank you, sir.
Honorable Tapalati from Madu, how are you?
Nice to have you, Honorable.
Yes. From the look of things and with the situation on ground in this country today, the present federal government, when I heard from the report from you this morning that Nigeria's operation is likely to be conceded to the China, where are we going in this country? Related to the anomalies being committed by this present government, are we sure we are going to the glorious land? Because we look at LDDC, that of Magu, and a lot of money being looted with this present government. Where this government is carrying us to? Where are we going to land? Because the looting is too much, and at the end of the day, there won't be any concrete solution to this. And the government is telling Nigeria that it's fighting corruption. When the executive is being even executing certain point of loan from the China, without the consent of the National Assembly, it's an impeachment offense against this government, and nothing will be done. It's a surprise. We have so many things like that.
Right.
Yes, here and there, looking here and there, and displaying us that it's fighting corruption, and nothing is done. It's a surprise. It's a mess. It's a shame on the part of this government. Very sorry to say. God bless Nigeria and Oyo State. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Eskia Falabi. Thank you. Please let's keep it locked, 60 seconds max, so that others can contribute. Caleb, Only Living, Diane, Tola, you're both doing well. Thank you. Matthew Olaliros on Facebook saying good morning, DNT. I'm enjoying your monitoring program. You're well done. Thank you. Yes, so from Ilero. We'll go back to the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Andaga, Mr. Tola.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Mr. Shona from Makaka.
Nice to have you. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I want to ask a question, sir. báwo la ṣe máa mọ ẹran léyà tó bá ní coronavirus?
Are you
about the isolation center? Say léyà ò ti ní lọ kí ó tó dáná tàbí báwo tó kí. Good morning. To say something on the issue of these allowance not being paid by the state government. And nurses and doctors are testing positive every day. And our politicians are collecting loot and what are we saying? What are we going to benefit from all of these things? Is Nigeria moving forward at all? And later we'll see our doctors are going out. They are taking out of the country to look for a greener path in another country. God bless Nigeria. Have a nice day.
Nice to have you. Thank you so much, Sashalak from Okaka. Okay, let's see if we can take a couple more messages on Facebook. Paula Sampson say good morning there, Tola. Please, what do you think could be the panacea or clue to this myriad of Nigerian woes? So as I observed that hardly will a week pass without reading or hearing or sitting an unpalatable news about inadequacies of the leaders over looting, maiming, arson, raping, kidnapping, and the likes. Comrade Paula S.O. Ogbomosho. Someone else is here on the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Chris calling from Idene.
Nice to have you, Mr. Chris. Please go ahead.
That was, yes. Oga Lai Mohammed is telling us about bearing the federal government and seeing their rate hike. This is laughable. Corruption in Nigeria can be compared to a gigantic elephant. You see one side today and another day, another side. Babatu Lawal, nobody heard about him again. Very soon the NDDC will go. You are releasing Abacha's loot are there.
May not be released from prison.
The results. One day, these people will make this country dry and leave the carcasses for the oil. Secondly, Nigerians are tired of how much has been recovered. We are interested in the positive use of the money to equip hospitals and pay workers. About 70% of our public schools are like slaughterhouses. Why did big men take their children to foreign schools? Pensioners are dying. Many live in squalor. Let them do the needful and leave us alone with how much they've recovered. We need responsible and responsible government. And finally, Uganda is merely looking for political soft landing. From PDP to APC, back to PDP and back to APC. This is political harlots. Watch out for 2020 for governorship or candidacy or a shot in the presidency. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chris. Okay, we'll do for another commercial break. We'll go on the break. When we're back, more stories.
Oluyole 98.5 FM.
Inú mi o.
ṣé ọ̀nà fún àyà tàbí inú rẹ̀ ń gbóná ni inú rẹ̀ ń dàrú Andrews liver salt ń gbógun ti inú kíkún àti àyà títa ní wàrà ń ṣẹ̀ṣà tí àyípadà kò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì lọ rí dókítà rẹ o.
Conversation with Dayo and Tola.
So glad to know you're there. It's the conversation with Dayo and Tola. Are you wondering what today is actually about? It's International Tiger Day.
International Tiger Day.
29th of July. It's an annual celebration to raise awareness for tiger conservation, held annually on 29th July. It was actually created in 2010 at St. Petersburg Tiger Summit. You know that's in Russia. You know, the goal of the day is to promote a global system for protecting the natural habitats of tigers and to raise public awareness and support for tiger conservation issues. We go to the phone line. Oh, we lost that. Let me pick this tweet. Ischemia ameliorator at boss_oxide. Saying on additional, clear conscience fears no accusation. Congrats to him. Thank you, Ischemia. Go back to the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Tayo and Mr. Tola.
Morning,
Good morning,
sir.
sir.
Bedu from Idimo Promotion.
Okay, nice to have you, Mr. Bedu.
Yes, I just want to talk about the political league that they are moving from one party to another. We Nigerians should give ourselves break to know what we are doing. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Biodo. I mean, it goes without saying. Somebody's jumping from here to there. It was never about you. No, good morning, Diane Tola. This is Mrs. Fumilola Kolajo on Facebook saying kudos to you for the wonderful work you guys are doing. We're enjoying you. God will continue to strengthen you from Ugbomosho. Thank you so much. Fabi for Lashade JP. Say good mom said D&T. God strengthen you the more. Saying the truth. God bless you. Oladapo SNO. The best war of fighting world war is economic war. So we need to develop our own. I think he's talking about the Chinese loans right there. Someone is here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Aruna.
This is Aruna from Motoro.
Yeah, welcome.
Mr. Janti, good morning this morning.
Good morning.
God Almighty is always your friend.
Amen.
My now released from prison.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
be surprised. When you say also contesting for political posts in Nigeria or giving an political appointment, is a shame to this country.
Wow.
Somebody that is released from prison and still jubilating, celebrating as if he won an election. In fact, we don't know where we are getting it wrong in this country. That is one. On the issue of medical practitioners, I think these doctors, they are not asking for anything. They are asking for what they have worked for or what they are working for. They should please try to answer them. There's only God that can save us in this country. God bless for your state. Welcome, Mr. Jansi. Oh, my you.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Ladiola at Ladiola007 on Twitter saying good morning to Antola. China is making all efforts to be in the forefront of the world's economy, making Africa countries the prototype. I pray Nigeria's case won't be like that of Zambia. We can't afford it. We cannot afford it.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Morning, sir.
Falodi from Papa Iloto.
Oh, nice to have you, Mr. Falodi.
Morning, Mr. Jansi.
Morning, sir.
Yes, one of what you have read, funny, that people were killing through from the state that was supplying ammunition. It's an unfortunate thing, very unfortunate. I think to me, I want to make one statement now. Politicians, we should take steps to respect themselves. Yes, on national security, if you want to fight for it, don't compromise national security. If you is the problem that there is not that classification. But that is the good life. That's just the way. Yes, that's my own position. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Falado. We really appreciate that. Aziz Adekunle saying good morning, Mr. D&T. My good God will protect you. Love you guys. Thank you. Rogbade Williams. So the focus of Chinese is to subdue other nations of the world, especially the African nations.
Yeah, if we let them know.
Just to humiliate and take over our resources control, but they will fail soonest. Okay, thank you. Okay, someone is here.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
This is Mukaja. This is Akamarafa calling from Ugbomosho.
Nice to have you, sir.
How was your night?
Oh, well, fine.
Fine, sir.
Go ahead, sir, with your comments.
My comment is about our politicians who are decamping from one party to another. When are we going to
Also get them arrested wherever and whenever. I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to say.
Myself, it doesn't seem to add up.
I'm pretty... maybe I'm misconstruing him anyway.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Alaji Ayelabugu is on the line.
Nice to have you, Alaji.
I want to talk about the Nigerian woman doctor who disclosed that she has treated about 300 patients of COVID-19.
Actually, she's a Cameroonian, but she studied in Nigeria.
But I believe she's an African.
Yes, she is.
Let's believe so that he was from Africa.
She is.
She mentioned that she has treated about 300 patients of COVID-19, and they are alive, being unhealthy. He wants further to mention the drugs involved, which I believe are so cheaper for the common people in the state. I believe The world doctor, she even make a poster. She challenged the world doctor that if the drug mentioned is not capable of treating COVID-19, they should do anything for her. I believe we should patronize this woman doctor. She has made a very unique and reasonable commitment. Dr. 5, if I want to make an appeal to the MDLA here, they should use the drug. And the woman will even mention that they should stop saying that they are not drugs for COVID. And challenge them that they are treated, even people with diabetic and other diseases. And as such, she made the declaration. Let people patronize that lady. People are there.
Thank you so much, Alaji. We really appreciate you. Ajia Agbomojo Owolawa is saying that from Gumosho, good morning, Mr. Dayo Tola. Our Nigerian doctor and nurses contracting COVID-19. These are the people to save our lives. Please, our governors, don't fold your arms on this. Mr. Tola, hope this not the work of the rejected Chinese doctors. They said they are not eventually doctors, that they are technicians that came to Alaja. You did not forget.
It makes some sense, actually.
She said, God save us. We'll go back to the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Reverend Babatunde is calling from Lalate.
Nice to have you, Reverend.
Yes, we thank God that Akeredolu has chosen his running mate. So I want to appeal to the two of them to work together so that success will be their own at the end of everything. Then, as of Agbola at the camp, my advice is that you should come back to APC so that by 2023 it will be installed.
Okay.
Let them work together. Then concerning the government that is paying the people, the workers, about 16 months. This is not good enough. They work for the money they have, so they should pay them because the government and the governors are collecting their own salary. So my appeal to them is that they should find a way of paying the workers' salary because they have children in the school and in other places. So that is my submission. Reverend Babatunde from Lalate.
Thank you so much, Reverend. Really appreciate that. Cause Sunday Omokai James on Facebook saying, good morning, Mr. Dayo Tola. God bless you. So I pray Nigeria will not go the way of Zambia in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I join you to say amen. It's important.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, sir.
My name is Falabi.
Okay, Mr. Falabi, go ahead.
Yes. How long should we allow the Chinese to receive us? Nigeria has become a dumping ground for Chinese products. How long are we going to allow this?
Oh, very brief. Thank you so much, sir. But you didn't tell us where you're calling from.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Falabi. Oh, he's gone. Okay, the phone line is still open. 08055009850. 08055009850. Thank you so much, Mr. Falabi. I mean, we need to do something about this.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Prince Adrenaline from Gumosho.
Oh, Prince. Please go ahead, sir.
Now, on the issue of our doctors, I want to advise the federal government to please do necessary things for them. Look at what they are facing. Many of them have contacted this COVID-19 disease. And there's no proper provision for them. So I want to advise the federal government to please take this line of them.
Manners. You don't talk when you are eating. Basic table manners. Basic table manners. Basic table manners. All right, that's the much you can take on the show today. Till tomorrow when we come your way, I remain Oladayo Ogun.
Tola. Terrible.
A very big thank you to Honorable S.K. Afolabi, Mr. Shola from Okaka, Chris from Ikene, Biodun from Idioro, Bomosho, Aruna from Odoru, also Bomosho, Mr. Falodun from Kumapa Yolodo, Mukadam Isiaka Marafa from Bomosho, Alaji Ayelabogo from Lanlate, Reverend Babatunde from Lanlate, Mr. Afolabi, and finally Prince Aderemi. Thank you so much. Till tomorrow when we come your way. Okay, we leave you in the safe hands of Poluaji. Up next, Spot Tidbits.
Prime time for those of you who do not know. You are listening to
98.5
Oluyole FM. Let's go.
Good morning, Ibadan. Good morning, Oyo State. Good morning, Nigeria. Time check at 7:30 a.m. And you already know it's sport time right here on Oluyole 98.5 FM, the trailblazer, the pride of the nation. You know we are the number one, the best in the West. Once again to bring you up to speed with all the happenings, making the rounds in the beautiful water sports. I bring you the latest, the hottest, and the juiciest news. Don't forget exclusive interviews that you can only get on this radio dial. The best in the West. It's a lovely Wednesday morning. And today we've got a couple of news from football to tennis and to basketball to golf and name it. I've got to cover this lovely morning. Yes, quite a lot to talk about on the show this lovely morning. As we'll be starting from Enugu, where Rangers International, the team manager of the club, Amobi Eziako, says that MPFL clubs must embrace professionalism in their day-to-day operations, especially with regards to safety and protection of lives of their footballers. Last week, remember that Rangers presented a life insurance benefit worth 20 million naira to the family of late striker Ifeanyi George, who died alongside two others in a ghastly auto crash in March on his way to Lagos. The gesture from Rangers was triggered by an agreement that they signed with an insurance company who released the 20 million naira premium for the late footballer. Just like Rangers, Isiako wants other MPFL sides to partner with insurance company to create safety net for their footballers against severe injuries and death, which is part of the CAF club licensing regulations. Amobi speaks further on this and many more.
The message is clear. We must all strive to embrace professionalism. Other clubs should try as much as possible to reach out to insurance companies around. They should make sure they do these things the proper way so that when they pay the premium, they will benefit from this. Recall also that when Ifeanyi Wim got injured in 2006, till this moment he was treated and he still receives his salary. And these things must be done with all transparency, with all professionalism. So my message is simple. MPFL clubs must strive, even within all odds, to embrace professionalism.
Great advice, and that's a noble Rangers leading by example. Let's hope that other clubs in the MPFL and also in the NNL will make safety and protection of players their priority. From Enugu, let's head straight to Imo State, where the administrative crisis rocking Atlan FC seems to be lingering, as the general manager of the club, Godson Oyemabi, says that the Imo State Commissioner of Sport, Chike Ogu, has no right whatsoever to dissolve the board of the club. Ogu, in a letter dated July 23rd and made available to newsmen, said the governor, Hope Uzodinma, had ordered the dissolution of all government boards and management teams of all state-owned parastatals. He also requested that the members of the club's board submit a handover note and return the club's properties in their possession. Oyemobi, however, stated that the commissioner lacked the power and authority to dissolve the Heartland board. He says that commissioner was also appointed by the governor and he has no power whatsoever to dissolve their board. Let's see how this pans out in Heartland. This team has actually been embroiled in terrible crises for a while now, and everything done by the governor seems not to be working. Let's see what happens as news breaks from that end. We will let you know on the show. Yes, on Spotted Beat, the number one sports show in the Southwest. Moving on this morning, the League Management Company has said that they will name Nigeria's second representative in the CAF Champions League very soon. The Nigerian Football Federation on July 10th officially cancelled the 2019-2020 league season and used the points per game approach to decide club standings in the final table, with no teams promoted, no team relegated. The points per game approach is an arithmetic average used for the points gained divided by the number of games played to decide positions in the league table. After using the PPG yardstick to decide club standings, the NFF said that the names of the top three clubs on the NPFL final PPG table as at March 25 shall be submitted to CAF to represent Nigeria at the 2020-2021 CAF inter-club competitions. With the format, Plateau United led the log with 1.96 PPG after they gained 49 points from 25 league matches. Rivers United and Enyimba, however, tied on 1.8 points PPG. But Rivers, with 45 points from 25 league matches, have a better goals difference than Enyimba Football Club, who amassed 36 points from 20 matches. Plateau qualified for the CAF Champions League as league leaders, but the club that will join them in the Champions League between Rivers and Enyimba has left football stakeholders in the dark in the last few days, with the LMC yet to announce who joins Plateau United. There are insinuations that Rivers United, despite their goal advantage, could lose the CAF slot to Enyimba Football Club. However, LMC's head of a special project, Harry Wala, said that the body would soon officially clear the air on the issue. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see what LMC will come up with. As far as that is concerned, let's talk about sports in Nigeria and the plans of the minister to transform sports into business. The newly drafted sports industry policy is the much needed framework that will transform sport in Nigeria from being a recreational to business-led and unlock tons of investment in the country. That's according to Minister of Sports Sunday Dare. He said this while speaking after he received the draft document of the National Sports Industry Policy yesterday in Abuja. The minister said the newly revamped SIP will replace the obsolete 2009 edition and will address 4 key areas, which is infrastructure, investment, incentives, and policy that will catapult sports in Nigeria to the next level. The draft is a revamp of the 2009 National Sports Policy carried out under the auspices of the Sport Ministry by members of the Steering Committee of the Sports Industry Working Group, the Policy Validator Committee, the National Sports Industry Policy Drafting Committee, and the relevant MDAs and the Ministry. Let's listen to Sunday Dare speaking about the policy being put in place to develop sports in Nigeria.
Some of what we're doing is calibrated. We're careful not to put the cart before the horse. We came up with the NLIF not just because of the youth in sports, but because we know that we must create a business model around sports. And when you look at sports, it's not just about sporting activities. Look at various allied industries that also benefit from sports, from soft drink industry. You know, you see the sponsors in different countries, even in Nigeria. And I think that this country is ripe, is overdue to turn its sports into business. You look at by the sheer niche number that we have, almost 200 million population. You look at the length and breadth of this country, the potentials that we have. You look at the sponsors out there who easily reach for talents so long as they are produced. And I think that unless we have the policy, it's the policy that drives that business environment. We will see our countrymen and women step forward to invest, to take a risk in sports development like we see in other countries. Austin, you just imagine last week, I think 2 Nigerians actually bought 2 foreign football clubs. As much as that is very interesting, for me as a sports minister and as a Nigerian, I'd rather see a reversal of that, such that rather than buying foreign football clubs, these Nigerians can come and buy one of our football clubs, build a stadium in Nigeria, fund this football club, and that's part of sports as business. But then we don't have the atmosphere. But I can assure them that with the sports as business policy coming in place, with the support we have received so far from the President Buhari-led government, I think that a new vista in sports development in this country.
They listen to Sunday Dare, Minister of Sports here in Nigeria. The National Sports Industry Policy, we understand, will be unveiled to the general public and the National Council of Sports for comments and feedback before it would be officially presented to the Federal Executive Council for final approval. Moving on this month, let's quickly do a tracker of Nigerian players abroad. And this time around, we're heading straight to Tola, where Oluyole has told newsmen that 3 months has talked about why he decided to quit Dennis Lispo. Yes, he said that 3 months outstanding salaries and a backlog of old bonuses were the reasons why he terminated his contract with the Turkish club and not his injury report. The Nigerian international said that Lispo acted unprofessionally during his stay at the club. He said he terminated the contract because of unpaid wages and unprofessional conduct by the club. He said he was last paid in February, and when COVID-19 halted football, FIFA gave room for all clubs to renegotiate till the end of the season, but he said he wasn't offered anything. Nazi joined Denlispo from another Turkish club, Trabzonspor, in January. The 27-year-old made 9 appearances for the team, and according to his agent Stephen Ayodemakewai, former international, has said that Nazi is actually being courted by 3 Italian clubs and that they are currently looking at the best deal for the young man. The former Lazio star, who is now a free agent, we understand is currently in Lagos with his family enjoying his break. Moving on this morning, Club Brugge manager Philippe Clement has declared Nigerian forward Emmanuel Den's fit for Saturday's Belgian Cup final against Antwerp, according to reports coming from the country Belgium this morning. Dennis has been linked with a move from Belgium Pro Club champions, with a number of clubs in England rumored to be interested in his services. The 22-year-old has also barely featured in Club Brugge preseason games due to a minor fitness problem. Clement, his manager, however, assured that the versatile forward is in the frame for the game against Antwerp later this weekend. Also, Leon Oluremi Palogon has trained with Rangers for the first time yesterday following his transfer to the Scottish club. Palogon linked up with Rangers on a 1-year deal last week, with the club having an option for a further deal. The Nigerian international will add further competition in the center of defense following the injury to Nico Katic. The 31-year-old featured for Wigan Athletics in the second half of the just concluded English Championship season. He can Well, some of the clubs he played for are Werder Bremen, Mainz, among other clubs in Germany. He also represented Brighton and Hove Albion in 2018. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Yes, the deal has not been officially been made known to the public for a reason. According to Lille president Gerard Lopez, he has opened up on the state, and of course the reason the transfer of Victor Osimhen to Napoli has been protected. Well, he said that because because of COVID-19 and the fact that the transfer window at the moment is not properly aligned due to COVID-19, and that's why it's really hard for them to officially make an announcement. But he has promised that once the deal is finally sorted, the announcement will be made in no time. Moving on to basketball this morning, where formerly Tigers guard Chamberlain Oguchi has been named Nigeria's best basketball player in the last decade by Continental Governing Body FIBA Africa. This was revealed in the second part of FIBA Africa's ranking of the continent's 10 best players of the last decade. The Tigers captain Ike Diogu and Orlando Magic power forward Alfredo Camino also made that particular list. The Nigerians were picked from an initial list of 55 top African players. The selection was based on their impact as club and national teams participation at FIBA competitions, which ran from 2010 to 2020. Oguchi stamped his status as an African great after anchoring Nigeria to their first ever Afro-Basket Championship title in 2015 in Tunisia with a performance that earned him the tournament's Most Valuable Player award. Alright, quick one, let's check out other sport this morning. And talking golf, where the Australian Open, the country's oldest and most prestigious golf event, has been postponed from November due to COVID-19. As according to organizers yesterday, Golf Australia had planned to stage the 105th edition at Melbourne's Kingston Health Golf Club later this year, but now looking at dates in early 2021, according to the organizers. But we also understand that Vladimir Putin had bagged a surprise bid from Russia to host the 2027 Rugby World Cup with the president's support. The Russian Rugby Federation has confirmed the country will bid to state the global tournament with Australia, the current favorite, to earn host status. World Rugby's officials host bidding process will open in February 2021 with the 2027 host decision expected in May. Heading straight to UFC this morning, where lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov will fight Justin Gaethje on the 24th of October. That's according to UFC President Dana White. The undefeated Russian fighter, who is 31 years, has not been on the octagon since September's defeat to Dustin Poirier. His father and coach Abdul Manapa died earlier this month following complications caused by COVID-19. Well, American Gaethje, who is 31, defeated Tony Ferguson in May after Ferguson's proposed bout with Nurmagomedov was cancelled because of the pandemic. Back to the world of football and heading straight to Spain this morning, where Real Madrid forward Mariano Diaz has tested positive for COVID-19, casting doubt on his participation in the UEFA Champions League tie at Manchester City on the 8th of August. Real Madrid said tests were conducted on the squad on Monday, and that though Diaz was in perfect health, he would have to self-isolate at home. Still in Spain, where former Watford boss Xavi Garcia has been named head coach of La Liga side Valencia on a 2-year deal. The 50-year-old led Watford to 11th place in the Premier League and the FA Cup final last season, but was sacked after a poor start to the campaign, from which the Hornets got relegated into the Championship last week Sunday. Moving on this lovely morning, where Bukayo Saka has been nominated for Arsenal's Player of the Season award. Saka will battle it out with club captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and goalkeeper Bernardo Leno for the individual prize. The 18-year-old, who is being courted by Nigeria, has scored 4 goals and recorded 11 assists in 39 appearances across all competitions for the Gunners this season. Saka was recently rewarded with a long-term contract by the North London club. Aubameyang finished the season as the club's top goal scorer. The Gabon international scored 27 goals and provided 3 assists in 43 games across all competitions. What about Leno? He enjoyed a fine campaign with the club and is also a fan favorite for that individual award. Still at Arsenal this morning, where Arsenal have confirmed that Jordan Shaqiri, so Shadran Mustafi will miss the start of next season after having surgery on his hamstring injury. The 28-year-old defender defender sustained the problem in the closing stages of the FA Cup semi-final win against Manchester City, ruling him out of a second FA Cup final. He has now undergone surgery in order to repair the injury and will aim to return to training later in October. Moving away from that, let's talk about relegated Bournemouth, where the club's board is expected to discuss whether to pursue any legal challenge over the goal line technology error in the Aston Villa vs Sheffield United match in June. Hawkeye, the makers of the goal line technology in England, apologized after the Blades were denied a goal in the match after the ball had crossed the line. The match finished goalless and Villa ended the season 1 point above relegated Bournemouth in the Premier League. The Cherries have a board meeting later this week to decide on whether to go after that case or not. Let's talk about Aston Villa, where we understand that they have sacked their sporting director Jesus Garcia Pitachi after criticism of the club's recruitment strategy. Pitachi left Villa Park on Monday, a day after the club ensured Premier League survival with a 1-1 draw at West Ham United. And talking about games, Serie games played yesterday. Yes, Parma lost at home to Atlanta, who are flying really high. And of course, with that result for Atlanta, it looks like the top position is already sealed for them. And for Inter Milan yesterday, they were 2-0 better than Napoli, and that also actually confirmed that they will finish in the top 4 of the Italian Serie A. Well, looking at the Italian Serie A log, Juventus are already champions on 83 points. Inter Milan second with 79 points, Atlanta with 78 points, and Lazio with 75 points. And later tonight in the Italian Serie A, Lazio will take on Brescia, Sampdoria versus AC Milan, Sassuolo versus Genoa, Udinese will take on Lecce, Verona versus Spal, Juventus will be the guest of Cagliari, Fiorentina versus Bologna, and Torino will take on AS Roma. That will be all on Sporting Beats this lovely morning. Big thanks to everyone who's been part of today's production. Big thanks to you for listening. The show returns tomorrow morning. Till then, go have a lovely day and stay safe.
Minutes before 8 on Oluyole 98.5 FM. You are welcome to our commercial belt.
Unbeatable. That's the BCS for you. Yeah, BCS TV. Oluyole 98.5 FM Ibadan. Agility 92.1 FM Ogbomosho. Okiogun 96.3 FM Alaga. For inquiries and patronage, please call 081-5271-9250. 081-5271-9250. That's the BCS customer care line for you. Do call BCOS, a media giant in a class of its own.
Papa John, I am afraid. Have you heard of coronavirus?
Yes, I have heard. But you can get it through contact with a person who may have the virus or live in an area with ongoing spread.
That is the problem. Before you know a person has it, you may have already gotten it.
That is why we must stop the spread.
How?
Do not shake anybody's hand and avoid touching people. Do not touch surfaces such as rails or stairs, public door handles, etc. In case you do, wash your hands properly with soap or use a sanitizer. Avoid crowded places and practice physical distancing at all times.
Physical distancing? What is that?
It means maintaining a 2-meter distance from the person nearest to you at all times. Most important, remember to wash your hands regularly with soap and under running water for at least 20 seconds, especially after blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing, going to the bathroom, or even before preparing and eating food. Avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth with unwashed hands.
Thank you, my husband. I feel a lot better.
Now go and wash your hand with soap and under running water for at least 20 seconds so you will feel best. This message is brought to you by UNICEF Nigeria.
Ó máa jẹ́ kí ilé rẹ̀ máa kàn. Bá gbogbo ẹbí kí gbogbo àyíká máa dọ́gbẹ̀rẹ̀ ni o. Láti inú yàrá ìdáná lórí àwọn ìtẹ́lẹ̀. Sínkì àtàwọn nǹkan mìíràn. Gbogbo
òun lẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn o kì í ṣaṣọ funfun nìkan la lára àgbẹ̀yídá jíìkì ń fọ̀ ẹ tó lè lò ó láti fọ ohunkóhun tàbí ibikíbi láti fọ ìdọ̀tíkídọ̀tí nílé yín jíìkì á pa ìdá 99% ìyẹn 99% nínú àwọn kòkòrò àrùn tó ń fa àìsàn tó máa ń wà láwọn ibi tó bá ṣí sílẹ̀ ó yá tètè lọ ra tìyẹ báyìí.
ọjẹ́ nǹkan rìgìdì sẹ́nu pámú mórí ọ̀wọ̀ bí ìran jẹgudu jẹra ajẹun olóhùn sara agbàláwọ̀ mẹ́rin oníjẹ haramu ó dọ̀gá níbi iṣẹ́ ọba tán rìbáwọ̀ ọ lójú ṣọwọ́ kúdúrú ti mọ́ ọ lára ó sì tún gbowó ẹ̀yìn lọ́wọ́ ẹni tí ò rí lò ọ̀gá onírìbá pojú rẹ̀ kìlọ̀ fún bó o bá fẹ́ ran abo lọ́wọ́ ó di bó o bá jẹran sunkún sí lára abo bó bá jọkùnrin ẹ̀wẹ̀wẹ̀ àfi bó bá wówó fún ọ lọ́nà kọ́nà bó o bá gbowó àdákọ́ńkọ́ ó kì í ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ ó ti dọ̀gba nínú oníjẹkújẹ ó sì ti dàgbà nínú rìbá gbígbà ó bá rántí ọjọ́ kan ìjìyà ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ó bá sì rántí ọjọ́ kan ẹ̀san ké kó o fọwọ́ rìbá gbígbà bàbẹ́ aṣọ ọ̀ má gbowó ìbọ̀lẹ̀ mọ́ ọlọ́run ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
inú mi o.
ṣé ọ̀nà ọ̀fun àyà tàbí inú rẹ̀ ń gbóná ni inú rẹ̀ ń dàrú Andrews liver salt ń gbógun ti inú kíkún àti àyà títa ní wàrà ń ṣẹ̀ṣà tí àyípadà kò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì lọ rí dókítà rẹ o.
So I don't write jollof rice, fried rice, pounded yam, egusi,
rice and stew, jollof rice. Thank you. All this plenty kind food wey una dey call so. Na wetin we go chop for the naming day.
Yes, ma.
See, enjoy.
No be small.
You see, mama baby, the same way we get different kind of food, na so we get different kind of child-birth spacing methods. So child-birth spacing go make your belle sweet well and your body too, e go tanda gidigba. Anyone wey you choose good for body and you go fit trust am.
Aunty nurse, my jasper don dey talk about am o, but me I dey fear.
See, no culture or religion wey no dey support anything wey go make life better. Make you and your jasper come when una ready. I go dey wait for una o.
Okay. No forget say anyone wey you choose for childbirth spacing matter dey safe and you fit trust am. Oya waka go any health center wey get the green dot logo to get full informate on childbirth spacing services. This message na the Federal Ministry of Health and support from American people carry am come.
Ojúkòrò bójú ṣe ń kojú tí àlà ń tọ́ lórí ètò yín ètò wa Ojúkòrò.
tá a ti ń gbà àwọn àlejò lọ́lọ́kan ọ̀jọ̀kan pẹ̀lú atọ́kùn ètò tó perégedé fìgbà ọ̀rọ̀ jẹ́ka.
Kúnlé Junaid ọmọ ọ̀pá fìtílà fẹ̀yìnjú ìnà clearly tí ó máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ rọ ike tálókò tó sáwọn àlejò tó wà ń kalẹ̀ tẹ́sí láǹfààní àti dásítò.
ọ̀jẹ̀ Ojúkòrò ti kúrò nítàná ó ti pàkókò dà kúrò láago 3 ọ̀sán sí 4 ìrọ̀lẹ́ tí mo wáyé tẹ́lẹ̀.
ní báyìí aago 4 sí aago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ọjọ́rú Wednesday yìí kan náà lẹ́ẹ̀mọ́ gbọ́ fún ìgbádùn yín ni o.
bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń gbọ́ níkànnì Oluyole 90.5 lẹ́ẹ̀mọ́ gbọ́ lókè ògùn FM 96.3 àti létí FM 92.1 tó tàwọn ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ tó wà lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára káàkiri àgbáyé.
ẹ má gbàgbé o àkókò ló yí padà ọjọ́ ò yí padà ọjọ́rú Wednesday tí ń wáyé náà ni ó máa wáyé ṣùgbọ́n láàrin aago 4 sí aago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ní báyìí.
Ojúkòrò